This is Ethan Newton, assistant coach at the University of Hartford, and I'm here today with Figure It Out Baseball, continuing the video series on PVC pipe and graining efficient movement patterns. The next drill that we have after the walking PVC pipes, which the previous two videos touched on, is what's called Sosa's. So Sosa drill. If anybody remembers, Sammy Sosa kind of had a stance where the hands were out wide here. Even in his load, he seemed like his hands were kind of away from his body. Of course, he was able to get into a good launch position before he unleashed his swing. I mean, guy had pretty good success, but that's the idea of where the drill stems from. When we do PVC, when we do Sosa's, we do have a bigger PVC pipe that we use. It's about 1.5 inches wide, so it's a little bit thicker, but a thin one like this works just fine. And note, also, very importantly, not only can these be done in tight spaces, PVC pipe costs a couple dollars at Home Depot, Lowe's, somewhere like that. Very affordable piece of equipment that you can use that has a lot of value in the baseball training setting. So Sosa's, basically the idea with this is we want to start to encourage and facilitate separation between our upper and lower half. So the general position that I'm going to start out in, I'm going to be in my launch position with my lower half. Again, check out my video explaining the launch position if that's an unfamiliar term to you. And I'm going to start out just splitting my body in half. So I'll turn this way so you can kind of see it. The plate doesn't mean a whole lot here. It's just going to be a general reference for how we're working in terms of hitting a ball right in the middle, hitting a ball out front, hitting a ball deep. So if we kind of turn the plate 90 degrees in your mind, I'm in my launch position here, splitting my body in half. And then from here, I just want to allow my lower half to start working and turning, uncoiling the hips. And you'll notice I got some space for my hips to work. Okay, I'm not locked in here. Clearing that front hip out of the way. And I tell guys that sometimes players have a tendency to shoot the hips forward to try to clear. That's what we're trying to prevent. We're trying to prevent rotation to uncoil the swing. So think about moving that front hip out of the way and getting that back hip starting to move towards the pitcher. Okay, and whatever happens with that back foot should be natural. So some guys might turn a little bit more. Other guys, it might be natural in their swing where they don't get a ton of rotation off of that back foot, and that's fine. Each guy's going to be a little bit different. So just working on opening that lower half, and notice my my upper half. Not a whole lot of movement here. So I'm not coming with my lower half and spinning like a top, and I'm also not collapsing on my back side. I'm staying strong here, and if I kind of liken this to a swing, my hands are still back in my launch position, and my hands are ready to uncoil whenever I make the decision to swing. After splitting the body in half, that's basically like your ball that's going to be right down the middle, good contact within the framework of your body. Now we want to move out front a little bit. Hips are going to be able to clear a little more. So I'm going to be able to have a little bit more of a turn here, and this is simulating hitting a ball out front. Your hips should only open as far as where you hit the baseball. So sticking with that idea, down the middle, ball probably inside that I'm hitting out front, able to get a little bit more rotation. Now we challenge guys, move it just inside the back foot. So we don't want to be way out here. This is just not a realistic position to be in, and it feels kind of unathletic. Just inside that back hip. Now we're working on that ball that we're hitting deep, outer half of the plate, driving a bullet to the opposite field. But my hips are only going to be able to open so much. And just getting a feel for that separation, that lower half working, should feel some tension in that rear oblique, the oblique that's closest to the catcher. And I'm just working on that separation. So when that lower half goes, boom, my hips unleash. Hands haven't committed yet, but when I do, they're following right behind. Nice, powerful position, ready to make flush contact with the baseball. So that's the Sosa drill for PVCs. Again, check out walking PVCs if you haven't already, and stick with me for the next video. I'm going to explain how these can translate to actual swings on the tee, and then progressing right forward into front toss, and then eventually into live. Again, this is Ethan Newton with Hartford Baseball and Figure It Out Baseball. Thanks for your time.